Anita Ray and Patrick Agunza on the Hot
I
Drive.
want you to introduce yourself.
My name is David Kimani.
Yes.
A son, a king, a father, a husband.
Amen, amen.
Yes.
Yes. So David, today we have quite a simple topic, and it's also complicated because I'm asking, as a man, how do you handle a powerful woman? And I'm using the word powerful. She might be a politician, she might be a doctor, she might be a radio presenter, she might be a TV presenter. How do you handle a woman, one, who's making more money than you, two, who is greater than you in a lot of things, but now she's your woman? How do you handle her without becoming insecure?
Unfortunately, so let me first from this. It has to start with me.
Yeah.
It's not even how I handle her, it's how I handle myself. If I'm insecure, if I feel irrelevant, if I have fears, then I'll not be able to handle her. And yet, from the beginning as a man, the best thing that can happen is for my wife to thrive. Actually, at that point in time, I'll be a successful husband. And I think that's a calling. Our calling is to call out our wives, to call out the women in our lives, to be better, to be great. And I think, unfortunately, because of maybe culture and all that, we have been taught that women, are career.
They should not drive.
Yeah. However, you actually see some examples, even in current life, of men who you actually don't even hear the names, but the wives are thriving. But the men are involved in their lives. And why? Is because one, the man is confident on who he is and where and who is being called to be. Two, even if there have been disappointments in life, he's dealt with himself. And so you find that the men who are insecure beat down on their wives because there's something they need to deal with themselves. And so I think first it starts with us as men. Can we deal with the insecurities? Can we deal with our fears? And as men, we have a couple of fears.
That's what I wanted to ask. Which fears?
I'll make sure to share those ones quickly. So there's a fear of rejection. Many of us want to feel appreciated, affirmed with what we talked about the last time. That someone says, "Yeah, you're my guy." And if you suspect or you've been rejected before, you think that this one is going to reject you. Two, irrelevance. We all want to be relevant. Mimi Nulem say. And so many of us, again, many men feel that if my wife is more powerful than I, if she's a public figure and all that, I become irrelevant, no one will notice me. And unfortunately that again then stops you.
So it's rejection, relevance?
Irrelevance, and then failure. Many men don't know how to handle failure. If you failed before, either in a relationship, in a workplace and all that, this fear checks in and has a hold on you, and then that again stops you from actually accepting that someone else can be more successful than you, and especially if they are close to you. Disappointment in the things of life also stops us, and so if we can be able to deal with this,
is disappointment not failure?
Not really. It could be something else that happened. I could not have failed in a marriage, but I'm disappointed in some of the decisions I have made.
Yeah.
And so that basically means then I need to deal with some of those things. So the self-confidence in who I am then basically means then I can allow me to allow my wife to thrive. And a time and a space where women are thriving, and you see that across in the corporate world, you can see the number of women at the top levels, the directors in the C-level, C-suite levels. I think it's time for us as men then to be ready that our wives will actually get there.
They are. They're
actually there. And more will get there.
Yeah.
And then how do I prepare? Is by do I affirm her? Do I appreciate her? Do I call her out to be, you are a great lady? Do I speak into her life? Do I encourage her to go back to school? Can she have a PhD and I don't have one?
Good question. Can you let your wife have a PhD if you don't have one?
Personally, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have personally. I'm comfortable with who I am. But many men will not be. So they check into a competition. Can I allow her to have, a bigger job where she's earning 300,000 more than I am? And be comfortable. What we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Would I be comfortable with her going...
I'm going to give my example a bit later. But we're talking about the fears men are facing. We're talking rejection, irrelevance, failure, disappointment. What other fears do you think is an ego a fear that men have? Because I tend to think most men end up being egoistic. Too much pride, not wanting the woman to be. I think that you have to understand when a woman is doing well, it's not because she wants to compete with you, it's because she's doing well for herself.
Exactly. But the thing is, let me go back. Let's talk about ego and pride.
Yeah.
So some things which appear as ego is actually a coping mechanism. It's actually not an ego thing. It's a fear coming out as, you know, that in that aspect.
Yeah.
And so what happens is I want to show you that I can do it.
I'm the man.
Yeah, I'm the man. How will you know? It's actually not pride. It's actually
How
a fear.
will you know I'm the man?
How will you know? You know, it's actually a fear. Pride, again, which is an interesting thing. We see all of us suffer from it.
Yes, we do.
And yes, we do. Not all of us suffer from it. Because actually it's something that I have to deal with me more than anything else. Do I see myself for who I am? I don't have to prove it. I don't have to prove to you who I am.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately for many men, because of, again, maybe competition of the way we were brought up, we think that we need to show others that we need to be.
You need to prove I'm better than you.
I need to prove, yeah, exactly. And I need to win. Again, we're brought up very competitive. You must be number one. And that's why amongst all our fathers were number one, yeah? So all the sons think they need to be number one.
Because that's how you're raised.
Exactly. And so even in life, you wake up and you think, I must drive the bigger car, I must have the, you know, better watch.
I want a better job.
Better job. And so that competition also is what makes us have that pride thing, and that is what stops us then, when our eyes are thriving, to be able to appreciate them or to be able to support them. But there, again, like I said, there are true life examples. We used to actually was speaking about Joyce Meyer, for example. You only know about, I think it's called David Meyer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But that's a guy who runs the whole thing. She stands up and speaks on stage, but he's a guy behind it all. He's a guy who farms her, who prays for her. He's a guy who walks with her. He's a guy who arranges her trips and all those things. But he's comfortable. Can we be comfortable? I think it is possible.
And that's a question I'm going to throw out to the other men today, because mostly the young men, our generation of young men who feel like when a woman has the money or has a job, msichana analinganga, hataolewa, who do want a woman like, and I don't know where this comes from, you know. And they keep forgetting, and this I'm saying from a personal level, people keep forgetting, you're not even working hard for any man out there, you're working hard for yourself. You're pushing the limits that maybe you had set for yourself or people had set for you. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the man who's walking into your life. So I'm asking, I'm going to ask again, David, how does a man who's dating a powerful woman, a woman who's better than him in a lot of work, maybe workplace, financially, how does he stop himself from being insecure? One,
being sure of who he is as a man.
Yes.
He must know who he is. And I think that identity thing is a thing that my generation, the generation behind me, which is you guys, and the ones younger than that, they suffer from that identity. They don't know whose they are, they don't know who they are. And those two things then cause a problem in the sense that for me I have to prove a point to my woman that I am better than her.
Yeah.
So the moment when we have a sense of identity that I know who I am David, and like the way I introduce myself.
My name is David Kimani, I am.
And it's not...
I am who I am, and your approval is not needed.
No, but also because I know whose I am.
Yes.
I know whose I am.
Yes.
Because allows me that identity. Many of us have not been told either by a father or a father figure that you belong to me. So that again becomes an issue. So identity is a very big one. And a lot of young men, like I said, the generation maybe below 40s, have a lot of that
identity crisis issues.
Yeah. And so because we don't know exactly who we are, then when we have someone else who's supposed to be dating, then we kind of compete with them. And then also because of, again, feeling that we are failures, then we see the success of other people as a competition to us. Yeah. And so very easy that you're dating this girl, and when you start dating her, you're earning 30k, she was earning 15, then she gets a promotion, she's earning 80k.
Ooh. I think that's a problem now.
Then there, suddenly, it becomes a fight about the money rather than, by the way, you know what, imagine it's okay for you to earn that. Actually, I am happy that you're earning that. But you see, because I kind of have this thing in my head that I am a failure, I am not good enough, then that brings that competition thing, which unfortunately is leading to a lot of drama in marriages, drama in relationships, like you said. And then guys are not able to handle that. I'll flip that slightly. Also, maybe what happens when something like money comes of power, people change the way they behave. Yeah? And so a lot of people don't understand, are not cultured or are not even trained or equipped enough to handle that. Okay, so when you're earning 20k, you hang out in some rocko, you know, yeah. But when you're doing 100 Gs, there's suddenly, you know, you don't go to those places. I don't go to restaurants in case I'm advertising, yeah. But the places you don't go, and so depending on where this man is, You want to take, you say, look, I'll pay for a date. Let's go to this hotel. Then the guy is thinking, but they are not good enough for that hotel. Then he thinks you are fighting him. Or he thinks that you are showing off. So at times, maybe how we even carry ourselves, people, these fears check in. It's not because the girl is misbehaving, it's not because the girl is whatever it is. Then the confidence of trusting that lady is very important. Unfortunately, we are growing up and we have a generation that doesn't trust, especially the other gender. And so what happens if the guy hears that you're actually going for a week off to work with the boss, and the guy is just thinking otherwise, except without understanding. Let's say maybe it's a good meeting you're going for. You're actually going for actually a real trip, and using what other stories they've had to judge you, except that you're unique in your own way. Are they allowing themselves to see that? Most of the times we are clouded by the things we've had when you're being brought up and we are growing. So again, also I think the other bit is when you get to that place as the ladies, can you affirm that guy? Yeah? Can you just tell him that it's not about, you're with him not for the money, for who he is? Can you appreciate him? Yeah? Because most of the times, again, and I think we just spoke about that, so sometimes we don't say these things, but as men we want to know that someone loves us and someone cares
so
for us.
are you saying this on here that men need to be told they are loved more than they pretend they do want to hear it? Because most men be like, si lazima. So they genuinely need to hear it.
Yes, they will not admit it.
Oh, I feel like now I should start texting all the men on my phone book.
I can't say that. Yeah.
I'm gonna be spreading so much love on my phone book today. I'm gonna be like, I know you're pretending like you don't wanna hear this. You know what? I actually love you.
But also affirm his positives. If he's a smart guy, he's a smart guy. Affirm that. Affirm his hard work. Affirm his efforts. Tell him you love him for how he loves you. Even if he buys you one flower, appreciate that.
Yeah.
And those things are the small things that actually then make him see you for who you are, irrespective of whatever you're earning. He'll still love you for who you are. But you also being genuine and playing your part.
I think that this conversation is quite interesting and eye-opening because most of the times the problem with also the women who have made it, they are already too empowered and too self-sufficient. They sometimes don't know how to deal with someone walking in, and they will always ask you the simple question: what are you bringing to the table? What are you adding as value to my life? And that's the problem, David. And that sometimes comes out naturally.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time on Facebook. A woman saying, "I have everything. Why do I need you to come into my life?" And that's a problem. And maybe that's what is pulling our men down. But also no, let's move beyond the money and other insecurities. There are men who even don't want their women to work.
Sadly.
Someone said, I was like, there's a place called Group Kenya. It's one of the craziest places in the entire world on Facebook. And I read all sorts of things. And a guy said, why would my wife be working and have a good job? Her job is to stay home, cook for me and the kids, and have more kids. I was like, holy smoke. Our parents took us to school for us to stay home and raise your kids. How do you deal with this?
Partly that comes from the old school way of thinking. Well, we're told, your wife is there to cook for you, warm your water, and give you children.
God. When people say that, my stomach hurts.
And unfortunately, I've had that school of thought. There are people who actually believe in that,
Yeah.
which actually is not right, which is actually not true. You're here on earth for much more than that, which is to have impact, is to do something with yourself. That, for lack of a better way of saying, that generations to come can actually say, look, we're glad that she lived. Yes, your children can, but unfortunately what you actually see, some of those women, yes, they will do those things, but they're very bitter and very unhappy, and even their children don't turn out the way they're supposed to be. And so how do you play a mixing between those two? Where I, as a man, can actually say, look, it's okay to go out and work, and still play your mother role, because I think maybe they're coming from perspective, they've seen the extremes of those who've gone to the corporate world and forgotten their mothers and their wives, which is again an extreme. But yet there are very many who are playing the part where they actually work in the corporate world, they're successful, they're great wives and they're great mothers.
Mother, great wife, great sister, great daughter. Great friend.
And the same way, there's men who are in the extreme, and yet there's men who are doing the right thing, who are great fathers, husbands, who are home, a couple every day or 3 days a week at 6 o'clock, are there with their children. And these are the ones, unfortunately, we don't hear about. They're the heroes we don't hear about. They're not celebrated, but they're actually there. And so it's actually also a personal decision for a man of saying, look, if if I'm getting married or will get married, where do I want to see my wife?
Okay.
Yeah. What should be written about her? And if I should be, if I want, it's not because she was just a wife and a mother. It's that she had impact in the place where she's been called to. Could be in the corporate world. Could be in just working mentoring. Could be in doing other things.
That's true. And maybe even a doctor who changed lives and decided to do something great about her career and where she is. We're going to be taking a short break. It's a quite a versatile topic because our men have been stereotyped to think that I am the man, I am the head, you're the neck, and they always want to push it down our throats. And we're coming from a generation of, hi, you're the head, we're okay with it. Can you learn how to respect the neck because you can't stand without it? I think we need to sit down and have a consensus. David is laughing because like, we gotta agree on this. Talk to me on Twitter, the hashtag being Hot96 Drive. What do you think of our discussion? Do you think as men you justified being insecure about your women who are maybe powerful, who are earning more money, your woman who is more known? Every time you're working with other people are like, hi, Sasa, and he's there like, oh Lord, I am done. I feel it. It's not strong women, it's powerful women. Because I think every woman is a strong woman. But when we say powerful, it's career-wise, financially-wise, and unapata in our generation today, we have given gender equality. So if I am a presenter, it means a man can be a presenter. If I am a doctor, a man can. We have gotten equal chances. Not all the time, but we have gotten there. So you find like maybe I am married to a teacher and I am a doctor. But we are married. And maybe when we were getting married, we were in college or we were in uni. We didn't know it's going to end up like this, but now it's ended up like this. And we need this to work. But let me just go back to what you said. First, the man has to know who he is and accept himself for who he is. Then that way, no woman can intimidate you.
True.
If you know my name is Andrew Kabuga, I am who I am. It doesn't matter who I meet in life. I will love them for who they are, but it doesn't change who I am. So your last words on this, and specifically it's about men, to the men who are in situations like this, and sometimes, to be very honest, these women might get overboard, get disrespectful, get all this might happen. What are you advising a man who's married to a woman who's maybe powerful financially, work-wise more than the man? Amani monasiasa. Don't laugh, it's true, you know.
There's, you know, the fact is that our sisters, our wives, our daughters will become more successful. One, then just because I just sense at that time that women are growing up in stature.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Places.
Yes.
I think for us as men, first is to be confident in who we are, and be confident in these our ladies, our sisters, and be able to call them out. The moment I know who I am, then I can be able to call her out to be who she's supposed to be. Affirm her.
Yeah.
The fact is, we are not in a competition. And unfortunately, it's what has been made. It's a competition against men and women. And so we are not in a competition. My work is to actually call my sister out, call my daughter out, call my wife out to be who she's supposed to be. And that's what God expects of us anyway. That's why, in fact, when you see the head, because where the head goes, the rest of the body actually, goes. And so if the head is not working, the rest doesn't work. And so if I'm working well, if I'm confident who I am, then everything else around me can actually do. And the opposite actually, unfortunately, is true. That is it. To our sisters, I think when you raise up in stature, I'm not sure that the word is powerful or successful. I think is also to understand, if you're married, then still play your role as a wife, as a suitable helper. Don't become the husband in the home. They're two different roles. We do two different perspectives to it. And I think this is again also by you understanding who you are. Because again, if you go get your identity from your workplace or get identity from your money, then that's not who you are. Those are just tools. Those are just things that happen. Maybe even at times seasons that happen. So again, to both parties, is actually knowing who you are, so that when these things come, then we're able to work well. To my brothers and fellow men, I think when we know who we are, when we have dealt with our fears, our insecurities, that helps a lot to actually call out our sisters, to call out our daughters, call out our wives to who they're supposed to be. That is imperative. Unfortunately, because of the battles we face as men, they still haunt us. So it's a journey, a day at a time.
Someone, Timothy Goroso said, Anita, the biggest fear men have is being called a woman eater. Whether you're eating the money or not, because she has more money than you, and that's the truth. And when there was a very big case going on in the country, one of our judges said that man is a woman eater. And I was like, are men supposed to be not in bad face eating anything else, but no, let's focus on woman eater meant money. It's only for, right? Meant not literally woman eater, which I didn't see a problem with that. But the way it was used was wrong. So a man is earning less than you. It doesn't necessarily mean they're depending on your money.
No.
They're just earning. And now let me make that clear.
In fact, just to cut you short, when as a couple you're earning the money is not yours as a wife and you as a husband. It's supposed to come together to a common plate.
That's a whole.
It's supposed to be our money.
David, let's not go there because my money is never anybody's money.
We shall have that discussion.
We should have this discussion actually.
And that's the other thing, because I've had people say that the man's money is our money, the woman's money is her money. And unfortunately, the biggest cause of divorce is actually not infidelity.
Money.
It's money issue.
Yeah.
And why? It's because we have this thing of different plates. However, if you put everything together, you know what it does, actually? It goes both of you. Secondly, even for the guy, the sense of security is that I brought 30 G's, you brought 100 G's. This is ours together. Can we plan together?
As I said, that's a whole different discussion. But Timothy, I think I'm going to say there's nothing like a woman eater, because at the end of the day, I think it's two grown, mature people deciding to come into a relationship. And if a man, and I always say, or if a woman spends money on a man, or a man spends money on a woman, it was from genuineness and mutual feeling and the love. So let's not go into who had whose money.
You're quite right on that one.
I know, but next week we need to have this foreigner. This money discussion needs to be put on black and white, because my money is my money, your money is our money.
I beg to differ, but we shall have that chat.
David, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for talking into our men. I always say, for as long as we can affirm our men, we can actually empower them, because the only thing that is lacking in our generation is that empowerment of the man. It's the man being reminded, you're the man. We support you for being the man. We empower you. We appreciate you. That is what is lacking. So as long as I say it, I always tell you, because as long as we have the chance to do this, I'm going to empower men as much as I can do. Because our men lost, meaning our men lost support when we empowered the girl too much. Thank you so much for coming and starting on Monday, right? Have an amazing week.
You too.
I'm going to see you. Definitely have a date on Monday. Money, 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 money.
Join the world of Viusasa Entertainment and enjoy the videos you love. SMS the word Viusasa to 40984. Viusasa, connecting you to the videos you love. Anita Ray and Patrick